My name is Natividad Seefeld. I am currently president of Park Plaza Co-operative for the 7th year in a row. In 1998, I found myself going through a divorce, living in 3,200 square foot that I totally 100% owned with nothing to pay. And I went into a manufactured home community at the time that was called a trailer park. Knew nothing about what that was going to be like because I had spent my life being a millionaire for 8 years. And now I found myself living in this. I bought a house from a couple who said, you cannot bring your partner in here. You have 10 minutes to look at this house and then say yes or no. I had to leave my partner in the car. I looked at this house and I bought it. I was lucky enough to get a small loan from my credit union, who happened to give that out to anybody who was going through a divorce for the first time, didn't have a credit score because I had paid cash for everything. And there I was in 1998. Fast forward. It's now 2010, and the first thing I get home is check my mail. Now imagine this, because this is going to happen to you. Just pretend you live in a manufactured home community. You're a single mom with 2 kids. Maybe you're an elderly couple. Maybe you have a disability. You're retired. You've been retired from the school district for 10, 15 years. You've lived in this trailer park at the time. And you come home and you get a letter, and it's from your homeowner or your owner, and it says, we're selling. We would like to offer you the opportunity to buy this community. I sat there for a minute and just went, what? Me buy a community? I didn't know any of my neighbors. I didn't know there was other side over there because we're a split park. And I thought, oh my God, I just cried for 2 days and didn't know what I was going to do with 20 years worth of stuff. And where would I take my home and stuff? So I thought, okay, what's next? We get another letter from North Country Foundation. Hi, we're here to help you learn how to purchase your community. Meet us at the local library for a 2-hour session. Wow. Hurry up, everybody, get to the library. But in the meantime, I went over to the city hall. I got smart. I bought the plans, and the guy said, oh, they're going to be expensive. I said, I don't care. I want the plans to the whole community. He brings them up, and there's all these plans. $12. I said, I can afford that. I seriously can afford that. Mind you, at the time, when I first moved in there, I was making $20,000 a year. So I was struggling. And then I said, hey, can I have a whole year's worth of water bills? I want to know how much this guy pays for water, if he's on time, what's the penalty. I wanted to be smart. I brought everything to the meeting, and I laid it out on the table. He had been behind constantly. It's a 10% hit every time you're behind. $8,000, $12,000 was the water on an average. 8% hit every time he was late. So we get into the meeting. There's all these papers laying up here. These people are so aggressive. Everybody's like, wow, they're going down our throats and telling us what we're going to do. And people were getting scared. You have Hispanics, you have elders, you have whites, you have Hmong. It didn't matter where you came from. They were scared. I was not scared because you're not going to kick me out, because my owner tried to kick me out every single year because I was a lesbian. My partner's name was Jane Doe on my lease. He never once ever called her by her name. I never met the owner. So I said, I'm buying this place. I don't care what it takes. We had 2 hours. Figure out a name, sign up for the state, get a board together. You're going to put a board together with a bunch of residents who never met each other? Maybe never, ever been on a board of directors. I used to own a business, so I know the law a little bit. I thought, I'm going to do this, so come on, you guys, you got to do this. So we put down a bunch of names. We figured out a name. They kept it at Park Plaza. It used to be Park Plaza Estates. We're now Park Plaza Cooperative. We paid our $10 initial fee. We decided on a membership fee, $200. This is what it's going to cost you to move in. They were going to bump our rent up. I believe it was $50 at the time, which we voted on and said yes. Now we put the board together. Who's going to be the president? You are. I was like, okay, I could do this. It's interim. They had 2 moms. One had 7 kids. One had 2. One had a challenge of mental illness. And I forget how many other people were on it. I think it was like 7 at the time. But just imagine, they're all different backgrounds. Next meeting. Let's put together your bylaws, your park rules. Oh, let's just make sure kids can't play out in the street with balls. Okay, this came from a mom with 7 kids. All right. So we're doing all of this process. Now we're going to fast forward, okay, you guys? It's time to sign the closing papers. We're going to become a cooperative. On February 15th, 2011, we sign our papers and we become a cooperative. But I forgot to tell you how much. $4.1 million in the heart of the city of Fridley. We're 5 miles from everything you could imagine, including a bowling alley, and I love to say that. We don't have it anymore, but I do like to say that because I love to bowl. But nonetheless, we're in a great school district. They pick you up right at the community, and they bring you right back. We have tons of kids I didn't know we had, and it's super cool. Now we're stuck with infrastructure. Oh my gosh, and I knew this ahead of time. 3 sizes of piping in our water system, bad sewer issues. Before we became a cooperative, we were shut down all the time for water. By the way, we're going to be shut down for a couple of days. We don't have any water. How am I supposed to go to the bathroom? Seriously, sir. It's just like this all the time. So we do this for a couple of years. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to get money to do the infrastructure. I'm panicking all the time. I become a director on the board of Rock USA. And I beg them every year, please help us. We were spending $47,000 in repairs. It gets to the point where it's no more repair on the main pipe, and I say, please, help me figure this out. Write me a letter, a recommendation that says, you can no longer fix this. And the city doesn't help you much because you're private at the time. But I'm going to get around that. I'm going to figure it out. I know the mayor. He's my best friend for 20 years. So we're always going to work with him, right? Fast forward to that. We find the money 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, so it's like 2.25 now. We did it, and I have 1 minute. $1 million worth of infrastructure, and we never raised the rent. 3 years we hadn't raised the rent until recently. We're now building a storm shelter. We're at $600,000, and we got a lot of help, and we did a lot of it ourselves. And we haven't raised the rent during that time except for $6, and that was voted on by the whole community. So here we are. We're a cooperative. We're together. We know each other. We feed each other. We help each other. We babysit for kids. And the first baby of this year has been born, a little boy, and the second baby is due in a couple weeks, a little girl. That's cooperative living. And we love each other, and we hate each other sometimes. Because everybody's family has 1 or 2 uncles or aunts that are kind of not so nice. So it isn't always easy. But it's so worth it because now we've married our land to our homes. You're not going to come and buy it from me. You're going to send me cards all the time. I'm going to call you and tell you it's not happening because I just got one in the mail just last week. And it's never going anywhere. You're never going to be displaced. We now have some people from a place that was displaced. And I asked the guy, why did you pick us? He said, because you're never going to kick me out unless I don't pay my rent. So that's our story.